Hello everybody, a very warm welcome back to MEC-TEC. We are back at Dan's garage, as you can see. The Mini is in pride of place in the middle of the garage. The old van has been kicked out on the drive over there so we can do some more work on the sill and the floors and all that sort of thing. Now, as you would have noticed probably, Dan has got this jacked up now. Get out of the way of the camera, on blocks, on two on the passenger side and one on the driver's side, just to give us a bit more height to be able to work obviously on this side and concentrate on what we do on this side. We've got a new pot of thinners, another roll of cloth and my mask somewhere. I'm going to get that front footwell soaking in there. Obviously get the rest of that paint off of there. In the meantime, since we was last here, Dan has got the rest of the back seat, the upright of the back seat out and all the seat belts out. So they're all out of the way now and we can obviously get a bit of thinners soaking on that tray of that seat as well to get all that off, because it still stinks of paint in there. Even though I've got rid of most of it now, it still stinks of paint. So obviously we've got to get rid of that other stuff as well. And we're going to start investigating this sill. We're going to get this outer sill cut off. We're going to get those manky horrible plates cut off inside and see exactly what we're working with and what we're dealing with as far as rust and holes and all the rest of it. And if we get time, Dan's not that keen on it, but if we get time, I really want to see what's under that fiberglass. In that driver's footwell, yeah. I'm really curious to know what's under that fiberglass, because I reckon that they've bodged over that because they didn't have a welder.
Yeah, I reckon it's metal underneath.
Yeah, I think the old metal is still underneath it, and I reckon it might possibly be able to be welded up. We'll see. No idea why it wasn't done in the first place like that, but obviously that may be the reason why. Maybe it's disintegrating and you can't weld it, but we'll find out. So let's crack on, get some thinners in this footwell, get all that stripped out, and we'll come back to you when we've made a bit of progress. Right, is it this moment in time that I realised that I hadn't pushed start on the time lapse, and I had a really nice lot of footage I thought I had of cutting all this out. Anyway, we digress. That is what we are facing at the moment. As you can see, that is all bits of the inner sill all over the floor and bits of rust and this, that and the other, and various manky holes that go through to the inside where this has just been plated over and bodged before. Now this has had a plate on the back of this sill as well, which is that piece there that I've left hanging out, and as I pulled it down to see what was underneath, it just exploded on the floor. So again, it hadn't been, yeah look, there you go, it hadn't been done properly. It had been plated over the top of, all the rust was basically encapsulated in there. Oh there you go, the plate's come off now. Yeah, all the rust was encapsulated in there and was just festering away, which is the biggest problem with people doing, so we say MOT grade rust repairs. They just obviously whap a plate over it, get it through the MOT, and it's forgotten about until someone like us comes along and then we do it properly. So yeah, that is what we're facing at the moment. As you can see, there's a fair bit of rust there. We've got to drill out these original spot welds along this bit, because that bit is actually still original. Sorry about the bars on the screen. Move that light over there. Yeah, so we've got original spot welds to drill out there. Lucky I brought my spot weld drill bit with me, so that's good. We'll get that section off, and then we need to clean up this lip and find out where all the spot welds are along that edge of that lip there. Obviously drill those out and get the rest of the outer seal off, and then we can obviously see what we're working with on the inside. The floor itself is one piece. It comes right the way up and joins to the inner reinforcing panels, and there is a jacking point there as well, which we need to sort out, because that's obviously not long for this weld, I don't think. So Dan's got all the wheel arches off, as you can see there, so we've got a bit more space and not have to worry about melting them. He's just taking the ones off the other side because he's going to change the arches on this anyway, because they are the wrong ones. Actually, they're slightly wider than the originals, but also they're a bit sort of, they're a bit roundy, aren't they, Dan? The moulding's a bit sort of weird on them, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think he's going to get some nicer arches, and I'm going to probably colour code them for him so they're matched to the paintwork, which will look really nice. So
Well, like original style ones, but painted, I think.
yeah, original style but painted. Yeah, that'll be really good. So hopefully they might make those in primer, mightn't they, Dan? Have to have a look and see. So I'm going to carry on doing what we was doing. I thought I was time lapsing it, but obviously I wasn't. I'm sorry about that. I missed that footage out, but yeah, there we go. So I'll try and get a bit more time lapse of it all coming apart as we go along. In the meantime as well, I have managed to not set the car alight, and I've got the footwell in there in soak as well to get all that manky paint off of that. So while we're doing work on the outside, it's doing itself on the inside as well. So that's another little job that we're doing. Lovely jubbly, let's carry on. Right, I had to cut in here. Just as a sweep up. Dan's just going to put some of his car in the bin. and that's a big pile of rust on the floor as well. And that's not all of it yet. That's just only bits of it. So there is multiple plates on the back of this section here. It has had that plate on the outside that I just showed you. It's had another plate on the inside. So this bit here, which is the original bit, was effectively sandwiched in between a plate over the outside and a plate on the inside. So the one it carried on rotting. And also, hopefully you'll be able to see this on camera, one of the plates they did actually goes up into the, sorry about the bars on the screen, actually goes up into the inside of the seal and sort of stops just about there. I'm not really sure what they were thinking there, but once we get this lip cleaned up and the rest of this outer seal off, hopefully that will come off with it with any luck. So I think that might be the next job. We'll get this lip cleaned up on here and see if we can get all these spot welds drilled out. I'm assuming they're spot welds. We might have to use a belt sander on them, or we can use a spot welding drill bit, whichever. Those ones come out really nice, as you can see. Didn't go too deep with the spot welding drill bit, so they've kept the inside intact, which is good. Tend to find with those, if you go sort of nearly all the way through and then leave a little bit and just flex the panel on top of it, and it will snap, and then you won't risk drilling right through then. So that's the plan anyway. Bit of vine in there then. So yeah, we'll crack on, carry on doing what we're doing, and when we've got more updates, I'll let you know. Right, with that seal wire brushed a little bit, we can see the extent of the bodginess that's gone on over the years. So let's start at the front. You can see there's some holes there that have been tried to be MIG welded up at some point. It's then had a plate welded in here, up here, and again that's all been MIG welded in. It's then had another plate from there. Let me zoom you out, hang on. So I'm fighting. So there's another plate from there all the way along to there, with another little plate over the top of that plate. So that's 1, 2, 3, and it's had another plate along there, from there down to the end. And obviously that one went underneath as well, and it's had another one on that inside that bucket as well, along with the ones that are in the floor that we haven't even got to yet, because all this here is the manky plates that have been put in on the inside, which we obviously need to dig out and do. So I think we're going to try and get this out of seal off completely. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. I may run a cutting disc along this bottom edge of this lip here, just to try and get rid of all this nastiness, because a lot of it I can't really get to the spot welds because it's got so much sort of stuff over the top of it and welds and whatever else that it's a bit tricky. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this, see what we can do, and when I've got some more off I'll show you a bit more what we find. It's like an archaeological dig this is. Right, you would have seen I just cut that big strip off underneath there. That is what is left of the outer seal. Now all we've got left on that is what's on the bottom of that lip there, which I've cut that piece off so I can get to that bit better, because otherwise it was kind of blocking where it was overlapping a little bit. Just looking at what we've got inside here. Sorry about these bars. As you can see, I've been at it with the thinners again. Got a load more of that paint off, and it's soaking, and there's a plate, and I've got a spatula. Where's the spatula? Hang on. It is. And I thought just give it a little prod straight through. So what I'm going to do, get a grinder in here, clean all this up. This is all sealer. Get all that off of there, and we'll hopefully get that plate out of there and all this nastiness out of here, and we'll see exactly what we're working with and what we've got to replace. And I think this floor, looking at it, Dan, I reckon the floor on this side's savable, you know, like that corner.
That front bit, you know, is it?
Yeah, I reckon it. I reckon it is. I reckon if we can tap that back down with a block of wood and a big hammer, so it's straight, and then we'll cut all that out and we'll be able to replate that, and it'll be fine.
Reckon?
I reckon so, yeah.
We'll see what it cleans up like.
Yeah, we've got to clean up with a wire brush and make sure.
At the
But
end of the day, the panels aren't making money.
no, that's true.
If it makes a better job, then
Yeah,
do it. But
fair point. All right,
yeah,
so we're
we'll have a look.
gonna get those manky plates cut out. We've got another manky plate here to get rid of as well, which I showed you before. Again, it goes obviously up here and round. It's all coming off anyway, and you can see straight through to the floor now, where we've obviously been attacking the outside of it. So it might just be worth cutting around that and getting the whole lot out. Back to clean metal, what do you reckon? Rather than trying to grind those plates off, just cut them out round the edge of them.
Bit like around here type.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because you're going to have to go back to clean metal anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So same with that one up there.
Back to where it's solid.
Right, we are progressing well. Although we're making a lot of work for ourselves, it's not actually as bad as what
It's not as it looks, is it?
maybe we first thought. No, and there's not a lot to it, which is why we can't understand why someone wouldn't do it properly in the first place, because there's only effectively really 4 panels. There's the floor, there's the reinforcer that goes in there for the jacking point, and there's the outer seal. In fact, there's 3 panels, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's probably others that overlap it,
There's
obviously little ones.
and bits,
But yeah, little bits and bobs, but to do what they've done and just lob plates over the top of it just seems a bit daft, really.
it's made it worse doing that, isn't it?
Yeah, it won't last anywhere near as long. It'll get it through an MOT, but that'll be about it. I mean, you can see what's left of the jacking point there. That's all that's left of the jacking point. And you can buy that panel, and it goes from here, and it joins that. In fact, yeah, does it join up there? Yeah, it joins up there in a seal, I think, doesn't it? Does it join that?
It's like a little, like you've got here.
It's got wings on each side of it.
Yeah, there's a wing at the top, and then there's a wing this side that you can just see.
Which
there.
are just spot welded in, and obviously you can see when we took all this out, this was a lot of the rust and everything was all inside here. You can see all that was all inside that box section which is in the floor in there, so we've got to hoover all that out and clean all that out as well, because obviously that's going to hold all the moisture in there. You can see it in there from where the light's shining through.
Someone's jacked up on the floor, haven't they?
Yeah.
Pulled it up.
So I said, I reckon you get a big block of wood on that, knock that down again, that'd probably be all right. Depends what the rust's like when we clean it up on the outside of here.
Clean all this up as well.
Yeah. It's going to take a little while, but just picking away at it, and we're only going to do this side because we don't want to weaken the car too much, because obviously if you start cutting off both seals, the thing will probably fold in half. So, and or even just doing this, we've noticed the door doesn't shut as easy. So, yeah, we're going to carry on and go from there. Righty-ho, I'm hoping you're going to be able to see this on camera. We have drawn some marks. We're going to cut along here. Let me get the light so you can actually see what I'm talking about. There we go. We're going to go along there, down there, and then I've scored a line right the way along, all the way up to where that manky bit stops there. We're going to cut it off there for now, and also along here. That's where we're going to go up to, and then we're going to obviously look at the separate areas like this front section and whatever else separately, because obviously if you try and do it in one go you're going to overwhelm yourself, and also it's a lot harder. So we're going to cut this section out, because this incorporates all those manky plates that are inside and everything else. Hello Dan.
Hello.
We're going to get all that cut out. We're probably going to cut this jacking point out as well, because you can't get to the spot welds up here in the top with that in place. So we're going to cut that out, and Dan's going to order a new one, and we're going to weld it in slightly differently to original, so we haven't got to disturb all this. That is the theory. So it's not going to be totally bang on original spec, but it's going to be a damn sight better than whatever they did here. And as you can see, we're just in the time lapse, we've also got the door off now too, so we've got a little bit more room to work with. Right, let's get the grinder going. Let's cut some more manky metal out. Right, it is like this. Whenever you start digging, you always find more. Well, we knew about all the floors, so here we go. This is what we've got left of the inner floor. As you can see, rather large holes. Let me grab the light, 2 seconds. There we go. So you can see there, we've got more to cut out in that front section as well. So I think Dan's going to get a front floor panel for this side at least. You can see all the sanding has already been stripped off of this side, mainly it's right up to a bit near that inner bit where the gear stick is. This rear bit obviously is cut square and neat, that's fairly solid there, so it's not too bad. However, the outer step, we leant on it and that came off. And I'm just going to try and find the bit that came off in my hand. Where's it gone? As you can see, we've got loads of stuff under here. There's the bit that came off in my hand. So that is what came off of that sill. It sits in there like that, so that is absolutely annihilated. So we're going to need one of those as well. We've got all the manky repair out from underneath in that bin, that rear bin, so that's all cut out nice. And got tons of rot in there, so it's not ideal. Right, sorry about that. We had a quick visitor for something that Dan was selling on Facebook. Just give that floor pan a quick hoover out. So yeah, we're going to basically need an outer step because that's all been previously bodged. You can see the whole edge of it is full of filler and is flaking away. Outer step, outer seal, inner seal, front floor pan. I think we're going to try and repair the rear floor pan, yeah?
I think so.
It's only that square, isn't it, really?
It's there, isn't it?
Yeah. And obviously we need to sort out what's going to happen inside this rear bin here because we're not sure what the new panel comes with as such, but it is going to need to go right into that corner there because it's been sealed in there before and obviously bodged up. So we're going to try and do it as best we can. Obviously that little jacking point there needs straightening up as well, which we can do while we're there. The front jacking point we've taken off, which is on that block, as you can see there, so that needs straightening up as well. Yeah, a lot of progress, but not necessarily looking like a lot of progress, if that makes sense, because obviously we're just cutting out to see what exactly we needed. But yeah, this has been proper bodged up before. This has this out of seal to the point where there should be a seam there and the seam's been filled over, so you can just see the top of it there. So we're going to copy the other side of it and recut that when we put that in. Probably cut that, go straight through there, Dan, go nice diagonal right through.
Yeah.
And then it'll be nice and neat then, won't it, hopefully?
See where the new one comes up to as well.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But at least we
So I wonder if this was probably all one bit originally, all the way up here, wasn't it?
might have been, but then that seam wouldn't be there then, would it? Because that was
Unless that's just for this outer, does that? Oh no, it's...
that originally had a seam that went right in, didn't it? Same as the other side. The other side.
If this piece, yeah, look, that's separate to this.
That quarter sits over the top of that, innit, does it? Oh right, see. So it might be when you get the new panel in, it sits behind the quarter panel. That'd be a nice, neat joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of massaging to get that in there. We've got to make up new corners for the box section here. Just going to cut that square along the inside, come down, make a little lip on it, obviously on this face and that flat face. That will then meet up with the floor again. That will be absolutely marvellous and all nice. That's the bit that's still rotting on the floor at the front there, as you can see. There's the light over. So that's the reason we want to get a front floor pan, because the actual arch section, this bit here, the over bit, is fine, but the floor that's been jacked up on previously, which we've now hammered back flat again because it was all bowed up in the air, has obviously let water in that front seam and rotted the floor out. So to do it properly, we might not put the whole floor in, but if we buy a front floor section and cut it in halfway across maybe, and just put this half in, that'll be a lot better job than obviously just sort of sticking another plate in there and hoping for the best, you know. So yeah, progressing well, I think, is the terminology we're going to go with, because when you're doing a project like this, it's always a bit of a moment when you start cutting into it all, but I don't think it's too bad. Seen a lot worse, so yeah, top banana. Right, just to give you an idea of what we've cut out of this car today, that is the second lot that we've swept out from underneath the car. The first lot was already in the bin, which you saw us earlier on sweeping up, so that is a fair lump of metal that's all been cut out of there. I think we've made it a little bit lighter. It's now the mini super leggera lightweight jobby. Dan's just on the laptop looking at what panels we need to buy and which bits we should get and which bits are best as far as sort of buying panels that are all in one or all separate or whatever else. So we're just trying to decide what's best at the moment. So that's going to be a continuing discussion, and we'll let you know when we have decided. Right, here is a nice new pile of parts that Dan's been online and ordered. We have got part of the reinforcer that goes across the floor. We've got two inner reinforcing bits. I'm not sure where they go, but I think one of those is a jacking point. And there's another reinforcer bit there as well. That's the end plate that goes underneath the rear wheel arch where the subframe bolts through to. He's actually ordered both outer seals. Obviously we only need one at the moment because we're only doing one side, but we've got both outer seal panels there. We've got the step panel there, which we're going to need at some point, probably not today, but we're going to need that at some point. And then the bit that we're going to be putting back in first is the inner floor, or inner seal I should say, with the floor panel attached. So that is that panel there. Now I can't remember what I filmed up to last time we was here, because I have come over and done a little bit more on this. But as you can see, that's what we're at. That's where we're at the moment as far as holes in the floor. See my feet through there. So we're going to carry on sort of looking at what we've got to do next. We have got to drill all this rear bin out. It's all spot welded around here, so we've got to take that out. We've also got to investigate. There's a patch down here which you need to clean up. Get the old patch off to see how far the rust goes that way, to know whether we've got to make a bit extra or whether our floor panel that we've got covers it. And yeah, that is, I'm out of breath. That is going to be sort of what we're going to be doing today really. It's going to be sort of more of the same as far as cutting, grinding, belt sanding, spot weld drilling and all the rest of it. It's going to be quite a long and laborious process, but it needs to be done so we can get a floor back in this thing. So without further ado, let's crack on, get some work done. Right, as you can see, Dan's working away in there. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
And we've got, he's cut out all the what's it called, a companion bin?
Yeah.
Basically the bin at the side there. We was going to try and save it, but it was just too much egg to try and save it, so he's going to get a new one.
Patience ran out with that. So
Yeah, yeah, Dan's patience ran out, yeah.
chopped it out.
We've got all the floor cut out up there now, and we've got it unpicked off this front bit of foot arch there. We've got to make a new section for that lower bit because it is a bit rotten along there, so we're going to make a new bit for that. Just gradually working my way along, picking off this inner seal. As you can see, we've got also got a brace in here now as well, to obviously stop anything moving, because obviously this is only a little flimsy bit of metal. We didn't want anything to move, so Dan's just tacked a brace in there, both ends, so that's all good. We're just going to cut through this last bit of floor there, and then carry on unpicking this all the way along, and we have all the inner seal completely off, and then we can start looking at where we're going to be cutting the new one in. Also, what we've cut off is the box section of reinforcer there as well. You can see it on the floor just there, that bit just there. So that's all cut out, and unfortunately there's a little bit more rust underneath there, but it's part of the course with a Mini, unfortunately, so is what it is. But that's where we're at. We haven't time-lapsed loads because we've literally been at this for hours. It takes a long while to sort of gradually unpick all this and try and get it to where the stage we need to be at. So we'll carry on, and we'll give you another update in a little while. Right, we have been very, very busy, and we've had a massive clear up. As you can see, I'll just show you the pile of metal that's come out of the Mini today, along with that little bit down there. That is the pile of metal that we've cut out today. Umpteen billion bits of floor, manky patches, all sorts of roll rubbish in there. So that's all that's come out of that. As I say, we've had a massive clear up, and this is the stage we're at inside here now. Found another hole at the back there which had a plate over it from underneath, which is not ideal, but we're hoping we're going to be able to sort that out with the floor. So Danny's actually going to try and fit this floor panel in there, hopefully, and we'll see how it fits. Go on, Dan, see what we've got. We're obviously going to have to do some fettling, but we just want to sort of put it in there and see, offer it up and see, pardon me, what we're working with. If it'll go in, that is.
Yeah.
Will it fit? Bit of a tight squeeze. Shall I go on the other side? Hang on, let me go on the other side. You can see what's going on better then. We don't know if this is going to definitely fit in here yet, because this is literally the first time we've tried it, but got to get it under that reinforcer then. With your summies, got to slide it under there first.
Oh, they've got this bit?
Yeah. So that's it. Go under there. Might have to cut that back a bit more, mightn't we? Oh no, there you go. A bit of a shimmy and a wiggle and a this and a that and a all that game. Don't want to know? Ah, don't swear, you're on camera.
No.
What's stopping it?
I think it's this, really.
But it should go underneath that though, shouldn't it? To allow it to... Might have to cut that. Now we've got all the other stuff out, do you reckon we might have to put the new pieces out in and mark it properly and cut it first so we can then get the floor to slide?
Yeah, I reckon, because this has got to come back slightly anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, we cut it just roughly so that we can get a rough idea of where we're at. Looks like it's got to go back slightly.
Yeah, but it can't because it's hitting on there.
Oh, I see.
Until it drops down more.
Yeah, I'm with you, yeah. Alright, let's we'll abort this fitting session and then we'll have a little trim up on this reinforcing bar and then we'll have another go and I'll come back to you. Right, I'm cutting back in again because Dan's made a bit of progress and it actually, I think we may have got it slotted in. Yeah. So this is what we've obviously got to work with. We know that we're going to have to add a couple of pieces either end because the floor doesn't come quite wide enough for what we need. And this is obviously the first time we've tried this, so it's going to be a bit of a rough fit. But at least you can see what we're aiming for, or what we're aiming for. Can need a bit of a trim up here and there, innit? But
It's not horrendous though, is it?
not bad, is it? No, it fits pretty well. Got a little bit of a bow there, but once you get that pushed down and clamped down, that'll be fine. It's only
Yeah,
because
bear in mind it's overlapping this old floor.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
Covers the old floor along.
And so there we go, that's what we're aiming for. That's going to be the new piece of floor that's going to go in there. Actually, looking at it down at the back, it covers all that bit that's been plated, look. If you cut it,
doesn't it?
yeah, it covers the whole thing. There was a plate at the back here that was done from underneath. It looked really manky. So now we know exactly where it comes to.
A bit there that isn't, but let's put a repair piece in there.
Yeah, we can make a piece to go under that, can't we?
What's that?
Yeah, we've got to make a repair piece of that front bit. But actually, that's not too bad. I thought that was going to be... I thought we was going to have to make more repair panels than that, if that makes sense, but that's not too bad at all, is it? Right, we're going to have a little fettle around with this and we'll come back to you when we've got any more progress.
Cut that last bit with a blade.
That's what I need my air saw for.
Yeah.
I've got it with me. Right, just thought I'd do a little cutting to show you where we're at. We have been fettling, or rather Dan's been fettling and filtering and all the rest of it, and that is where we are at the moment. We've got the floor sort of clamped in and marked. It is cut back to a point, but obviously we've got to cut it the final cut. We've got that reinforcing panel in there now. I had to modify that slightly by cutting this tab back a little bit here. But it is looking alright in it, actually, to be fair. No, seeing these are pattern panels. They're good quality pattern panels. They're the best ones, or one of the best ones. But yeah, no, it's looking really, really good. So it needs a little bit more fettling here and there, but once it's cut, I think we'll be pretty close to getting it tacked in, which is really, really good. Before we tack it in, though, we have got to sort out that back bit under there, the riser board, heel board, whatever you want to call it. We've got to sort that out, what we're going to do with that, and also need to make a little panel up for the front of the floor there, just to add on to obviously where that's not got a floor.
Side, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not got a floor as well. There's a little piece we've got to make up there, but there's a bit underneath that new floor panel that needs making up.
Kind of under here, isn't it?
Yeah, it sort of overlaps the bottom of the new floor panel, which needs just a new bit making for that. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. Top banana, good progress. Right then, that is where we are going to have to leave it on Dan's old Mini for the minute. That video was filmed over about 3 goes over at Dan's. It is a mega time consuming process, as you can probably imagine, cutting all that out and making sure you're not damaging bits you need to keep and so on. So it's taken a while, and obviously our schedules have to align for us to be able to work together on it. So that is why it's taken a little while to get another mini video out. Now I can only apologise for the lack of content over the last few weeks. I have been flat out working on the house as per usual. It is slowly getting there upstairs now, and the carpet was fitted on Friday. So thankfully, I think I've broken the back on that side of things now, so hopefully I can get a bit more car work done in the garage and at Dan's and so on. Now you'll notice, eagle-eyed among you will notice, there is an engine forming on the stand here. I have been working on the Lotus engine. I've finally got the bits for that. I broke the rings, or the ring I should say. That has had some good progress on that over the last few days, so that is going to be an upcoming future video. And also the eagle-eyed among you will also notice a MEC-TEC front bumper over there. As you can see, I've been doing a little bit of work on the MEC-TEC as well, so that is another upcoming video. So I have been doing bits and bobs over the last week to try and get a few car projects on the go again. Now the house is slowly getting sorted out a bit more. So like I say, I can only apologise for the lack of content over the last few weeks, but that is why I've been flat out on the house. And I thought I'll give you a little mini video update. I wasn't sure if I had enough material to create a video, but obviously it worked out that we had. So that is absolutely superb. We've come to a pretty good point on the Mini now, where we are virtually at the point of welding that piece of floor in. We just need to make a few more final cuts down where the actual panel is going to meet panel, and obviously make up those little bits that need to go around the edge of it. And then hopefully we should have a floor back in the Mini again, which is absolutely mega on that side at least. Hopefully the other side is not going to be as bad, but obviously we won't know that until we start digging and finding out what's been bodged on the other side. I'm sure there'll be many bodges on the other side as well. We know there is, because there's a load of fiberglass in it, but we'll come to that when we come to it. Concentrate on one side at a time. As I always say, if you've got a big job like that, make sure you always do a section at a time, work your way through it methodically, then it doesn't seem quite so overwhelming. I need to take my own advice on that side of things, because I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the projects around me lately, which is probably another reason why I haven't been able to get a video out, because I just cannot focus on one single thing. So I need to take my own advice on that and just break things down a little bit and get stuff done methodically. So if you can do that too with your projects, if you're working on stuff and it gets a bit overwhelming, just break it down into little bits and maybe it will help you out too. Now remember to do 4 things for me: like, subscribe, share and hit the notification bell. It's all free, it costs you absolutely nothing, and I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and obviously gets my name out there, I should say, to hopefully get a bigger audience with any luck. So that would be absolutely superb if you could do that. And all that's left me to say is thank you very much for watching. I will see you very soon, hopefully, for another car video. Not sure what it's going to be on yet, but it will be very soon. And I've forgotten what I was going to say now, but thank you all for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Cheers, guys.